Welcome learners. In this lecture, we will continue the market segmentation part of the previous lecture. Having established the importance and levels of segmentation, we turn to the specific basis for segmenting rural consumer markets. It's crucial to understand that applying segmentation methods used in urban markets directly to rural areas often doesn't work effectively. For instance, segmenting by income, a common urban practice, is problematic in rural settings due to seasonal earnings for farmers, payment in kind of laborers, and the general lack of formal income documentation like tax returns. Similar challenges exist for other standard urban variables. Therefore, a thoughtful and relevant approach is needed when dividing the rural market. We will now explore the four major ways or bases used to segment rural consumers: geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral segmentation. The first base is geographic segmentation. This involves dividing the market based on geographical units such as region, state, district, village size, population density, and climate. Given India's vast size and regional diversity, rural consumers in different geographic locations often exhibit distinct needs, preferences, and behaviors. Broadly, the country can be divided into north, south, east, and west regions, each with unique cultural values, climates, and lifestyle influencing consumption pattern. Think about differences in food habits and clothing style. Marketers must understand these regional nuances. Within geographic segmentation, we also consider specific factors like village population and density. Larger villages often have better infrastructure and have historically attracted more marketing focus, but marketers should look beyond size to development indicators relevant to their product. Climate significantly impacts purchasing, especially for agricultural products, leading companies to use climate based regional divisions. Finally, culture plays a profound role. India comprises numerous social cultural regions, each with unique traditions and identities that strongly influence consumer behavior, especially in rural areas where traditional cultural remains robust compared to the western urban centers. Next, we examine demographic segmentation, which groups customers based on variables relating to the population such as age, family size, gender, income, occupation, education, religion, or caste. Let's look at some key demographic factors particularly relevant to rural markets. First, age and life cycle stage. Needs and preferences evolve through life. For example, rural youth might aspire to new mobile phones with the latest features, whereas older adults may be content with basic, perhaps used models. Second, family structure. Family size directly impacts consumption volume. Larger families often prefer economy packs. Importantly, the gradual shift in the rural India from traditional joint families towards individualized joint families or nuclear families creates significant demand for household goods like refrigerator, TVs, and cooking appliances, as each new household unit needs its own set. Third, land ownership. In rural agrarian economies, land is fundamentally linked to livelihood, security, and social standing, holding deep emotional value beyond being just an asset. Segmenting based on land related factors like size of holding, marginal, small, semi medium, or medium large farmers, land quantity, irrigation type, and productivity is crucial for understanding different farmers groups and their capacity and needs. Continuing with demographic factors influencing rural segmentation. Fourth is occupation. Rural population are diverse in their work. Self-employed farmers, agriculture or non-agricultural, daily wage laborers, salaried individuals, small traders, and business owners. Each group exhibits different lifestyles and purchasing habits, making occupation a practical segmentation variable. Fifth, income. As we have noted, applying urban income brackets is difficult due to the seasonal, irregular, multi-source, and often non-taxed nature of rural earnings. While challenging, recent efforts aim to classify rural households based on estimated monthly income levels and asset ownership, providing some guidance. Fifth, income. As we have noted, applying urban income brackets is difficult due to the seasonal, irregular, multi-source, and often non-taxed nature of rural earnings. While challenging, recent efforts aim to classify rural households based on estimated monthly income levels and asset ownership, providing some guidance. Sixth is socioeconomic classification or SEC. Traditional urban socioeconomic classification metrics, occupation or education, are less effective rurally. Instead, a widely used rural socioeconomic classification approach relies on the education level of the chief wage earner and the type of house occupied, kacha, semi-pakka or pakka. This provides a practical way to classify households into strata like R1, R2, R3, and R4, reflecting living standards. Seventh, religion and caste. These factors significantly shape social structures. Community organization like caste-based hamlets and cultural practices in many rural areas influencing behaviors. While important to understand, it's often observed that for commercial transaction, caste may become less of a barrier. While geographic and demographic segmentation tell us who the customers are and where they live, psychographic segmentation delves deeper to understand why they make certain choices. This approach groups buyers based on their internal characteristics, primarily lifestyle, personality traits, and values and beliefs. Lifestyle is reflected in a person's pattern of living, expressed through their activities, interests, and opinions, how they spend their time and money. People from the same demographic groups can have very different lifestyles. Personality traits such as being ambitious, authoritarian, traditional, or open to change influence product adoption and brand preferences. Value and beliefs, often rooted in culture, religion, and community norms, guide what people consider important, right, or desirable. For example, a strong belief in saving might favor value for money products, while community value might influence group purchasing decisions. Understanding these psychographics is key to crafting truly resonant marketing strategies. Our fourth major base is behavioral segmentation. This divides buyers into groups based on their actual behavior related to a product, their knowledge, attitudes, uses, or responses. Let's examine some key behavioral variables. First, occasions. Buyers can be grouped according to the occasions when they get the idea to buy, actually buy, or use the purchased item. In rural India, significant purchasing occasions include post harvest periods, major festivals like Diwali or Onam, local melas, fairs, and regular weekly or Hats markets. Second, benefits sought. This powerful form of segmentation groups buyers according to the specific benefits they seek from a product. While urban consumers might seek style or status, rural consumers often prioritize core functional benefits, durability, ease of use, and value for money. Companies can tailor offerings based on their primarily benefits sought by a target segment. Third, user status. Markets can be segmented based on whether people are non users, ex users, potential users, first time users, or regular users of a product. Given that many rural consumers are potential or first time users for numerous product categories, marketing strategies often need to focus on creating awareness and encouraging trials, as Ghadi detergent did with its famous tagline encouraging initial use. Continuing with behavioral segmentation variables, fourth is usage rate. Markets can be segmented into light, medium, and heavy product users. Companies often cater to this by offering different pack sizes. Small, affordable, sachet are extremely popular in rural markets, catering to light users or those managing tight budgets, while larger family packs or economy sizes appeal to heavy users or larger households. Fifth, loyalty status. Consumers can be segmented by their degree of loyalty to brands. This helps marketers identify strategies to retain loyal customers, attract competitors' customers, or convert switchers. Rural markets often display significant brand stickiness, while adoption might be slower. Once conceived, rural consumers tend to exhibit higher loyalty compared to their urban counterparts. The first brand to successfully enter a village often enjoys a lasting advantage. Sixth, place of purchase. Rural consumers typically purchase different categories of goods from different locations. Daily necessities might come from local village shops, weekly needs like vegetables from the hearts, and durable goods or specialized items like fertilizers from the nearest town. Understanding these patterns allows companies to optimize distribution and promotion efforts, for example, by being present at hearts for relevant product categories. Finally, given the complexity of rural markets, relying on a single segmentation variable is often insufficient. Multi-attribute segmentation provides a more sophisticated approach by combining several variables, perhaps demographic, geographic, and behavioral, to identify smaller, more precisely defined, and meaningful target groups. Marketers increasingly use such methods. Some well-known examples include the R.K. Swamy BBDO Prosperity Index, which classifies some based on a market potential value derived from factors like spending propensity, consumption habits, media exposure, and market support infrastructure, and population too. Another is Household Potential Index, developed by MRUC Hansa Research, which assigns a premiumness score to households based on ownership and consumption patterns across numerous variables, creating a consumer pyramid. Tools like the MART Market Attractiveness Score specifically aim to assess potential even in very small towns. These multi attribute approaches integrate diverse data points to create richer insights for strategic decision making. To summarize this section on segmenting rural markets, we have seen that a nuanced approach distinct from urban methods is required. We explored the four primary bases: geographic segmentation, focusing on regional and local differences; including climate and culture. Demographic segmentation using relevant rural indicators like age, family structure, land ownership, occupation, and adapted socioeconomic classifications. Psychographic segmentation aiming to understand consumer lifestyles, personalities, values, and beliefs. And behavioral segmentation analyzing purchasing patterns related to occasions, benefits sought, user status, usage rate, loyalty, and place of purchase. Recognizing the limitations of single variable, multi attribute segmentation combines these variables, leveraging specialized indices and tools to provide a more comprehensive understanding necessary for effective targeting the diverse and complex rural marketplace. Let us now conclude our discussion on market segmentation, particularly within the rural context. As we have established, segmentation involves dividing the broader market into smaller groups of consumers who share similar needs or preferences. This process is fundamental for companies aiming to effectively reach specific customer segments with tailored products and services. The significance of segmentation is heightened in rural markets due to their inherent diversity stemming from variations in income sources, lifestyles, education levels, languages, and cultural practices. Therefore, a deep understanding of these differences is a prerequisite for successful targeting. We explored the four principal bases for this segmentation: geographic, considering factors like region, climate, and village size; demographic, encompassing variables like age, family type, income proxies, education, and occupation relevant to rural life; psychographic, which examines consumer lifestyles, values, and personality traits; and behavioral, focusing on buying patterns, product usage rates, brand loyalty, and specific purchasing occasions like festivals or hearts. Companies utilized various strategic approaches ranging from mass marketing to more focused segment marketing, niche marketing, and even macro marketing, along with sophisticated multi attribute segmentation methods that combine multiple variables for a richer understanding. Ultimately, comprehending and effectively segmenting the rural market empowers businesses to create the right products, design appropriate advertising campaigns, and establish effective distribution channels. This strategic clarity fosters customer satisfaction, enhances sales performance, and paves the way for sustainable long term success in the challenging yet rewarding rural marketplace. Thank you so much for this session.